One moment.
It says you're live.
Just gotta click one more button. Yeah. All right, we're ready to go.
All right. Meeting of the Northborough Housing Authority. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather at one place. In this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. Okay, this meeting will be live streamed, but will have no options for public participation. Okay, I'm going to open the meeting, call the meeting to order. And I will start with the review and approval of the minutes that Lynn has sent to all of us, if everybody's had a chance to look at them. Any questions on the minutes? Any revisions? If not, I'll hear a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Seconded.
Second. All in favor, and again, we all have to announce our names as we're speaking.
Aye, Brad Newman.
Ray Carlson, aye.
Elaine Solomon, aye.
Andy Dowd, aye.
Rita Osborne, aye. Motion passes. Everybody has had a chance to, I'm sure, look over the contract for the executive director. Contract is for 5 years in the amount of $73,662. And I'll open it up for discussion before we vote on it. Does anybody have any questions?
Rita, I have a question.
Yes.
Under basic terms, number 5,
Uh-huh.
it says required hours are 64 hours per week.
No, that doesn't really apply here because they're saying that there's no way anybody could work 64 hours a week.
I'm sorry, that was, it's supposed to be, I worked
32.
32, right.
34 bi-weekly.
Yeah, but you better put it in as 32.
So
because
maybe I
they're
need
gonna-
to, yeah, I better correct that. That was on
Yeah.
number 5.
Right.
Number 5, yeah.
I knew that, so I didn't think of it, but that was
Yeah.
that was good. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. This is a different, I've had obviously contracts. This is the new DHCD template. So, which I.
But they'll look
yeah,
at
use
that and think.
So I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
Also, it's checked off part-time.
I am part-time.
Yeah. Check it off. Make sure it's checked off.
It's not, okay.
It is
Okay.
checked off.
No,
Okay.
it is checked off.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not considered full-time because I'm 32 a week.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, full-time is 37.5.
all right,
figure.
so number 5, gross salary at the top payable and just still trying to find it.
It's under basic terms, Lynn, the first page,
Right.
Oh,
under
okay,
A, under
okay,
A, yeah. It
okay,
says
I know, yep, okay. Fix that.
Any other questions on the contract? Okay, then the contract is going to begin in January 2021 and ends December 31st, 2025. The amount of money was, you sent everybody the correction on the money?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
with the, with the corporation money put separately, that
Okay.
2,400, that's a separate, supposed to be categorized separately.
Okay,
That's an extra.
all right, and this is the final figure from the accountant.
Yep, that's what the
Okay.
contract is for now, yeah, and it's
Based
all-
on, I'm sorry, is that based on the new executive director salary schedule? I'm sure it is because I,
It's from the, yeah, the existing one. I
Okay.
don't think they've come out with any other changes
okay.
from them.
Does anybody have any other questions or any other corrections to the contract? If not, I'll accept a motion to accept the contract.
So moved.
Sam? Okay, I need a second.
Seconded.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? So you have to say a name.
Oh, Elaine Solomon, aye.
Ray Carlson, aye.
Hi, Brad Newman.
And
Andy,
Andy Dowd, aye.
Rita Osborne. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, Lynn? Congratulations
Yeah.
on your new contract, and it's now your turn.
Thank you, everybody, for approving my contract for another 5 years, 21 and counting. I am getting up there, but I'm not ready to go yet. So, anyway. So we have two vacant units right now. They're both families that just opened up. We have 20 Crestwood, which is a 3-bedroom, and then we have 15 Greenwood, which is a 4-bedroom. So those just opened up. We're getting those ready for occupancy. 20 Crestwood has had the same tenant in there, God, since before I started. She just actually took one of our 667 elderly units. All her children are gone, so she's been a really long-term tenant. So anyway, we're preparing that one for occupancy, and then we're actually going to put some windows in there. We can, it needs some new windows, and then like I said, she's been in there for a long time, and then just some, I think that's it for major, but just some basic repairs. And then 15 Greenwood, we're kind of evaluating that one now too. So, always good to try to do the updates when the family, families turn over. We just recently, 15 Crestwood was the one that we had, not 15, I'm sorry, 15 Greenwood. We put some cabinets in not too long ago and did do some things. So I don't think it needs much. So I did pull lists from Champ, waiting to get those back, and I'll start screening people for those. We had the walkthrough here yesterday, contractors walkthrough for the front entry modernization project that we're doing here at Colonial Village, which I'm really happy to be getting that going. We had a good amount of contractors come out to go through the walkthrough, so I think we'll get some bids. The bids are due October 13th, so next week. And luckily that is, kind of something that they can still do, with the weather. It's not like it's a project that has to start when it if it starts to get cold. So anyway, that will be getting underway. The garage still too, that will be getting underway. My guess is that's probably going to bid out so that it can start in the spring. It's not something we would want to start in the winter anyway, I think, with everything going on. But like I said, everything was approved by the plumbing contractor and all that kind of stuff. I think DHCD just has to finally, send it out to bid, but it is all set. Rutland Road roofs were done, like I said, and they added gutters. I think that was one thing that I had sent to you guys for the change order for the gutters. And the final completion, which I know I'll need a vote on. Cameras are they're all in up at Rutland Road and over at Heritage. They're still just working on internet a little bit at Heritage. They ran into a little snag. They had to, go from the community room type of thing. But they are all in, ready to go live. It was interesting. As soon as I put the cameras in the Rutland Road, somebody immediately called me to add a family member on. Because I think, it's good to have cameras. It's gonna help a lot up there. So just waiting for those to go live. We got a notice from Karen today saying that it looks like the eviction moratorium, they believe it's going to be lifted
Mhm.
October 17th. The governor's office has not given anything as far as giving that another extension. So it looks like that they probably are going to get going with those. I still think they're going to try to do, both. I assume Karen thinks still, a lot of it's going to be done virtually, but they are going to get going with those cases. As she put it, there's going to be a tsunami of them once we get back on board with that. But I do have a couple that are pending also, and we have been meeting with a couple of tenants, like I said, via Zoom, when necessary, to talk about various things. So I think that's going to be up and running soon too. And then the budget revision that I sent you guys. So that was just sort of a kind of after the fact thing that DHCD sent out. They're giving every housing authority, I believe it's $324 per unit for COVID-related expenses. At first, when the accountant presented it to me, he said he thinks that he wasn't sure how it was going to go about, if they wanted a list of exactly how you wanted to use the money before you took it, type of thing. A lot of people were like, okay, well, it's a little bit after the fact, where we all kind of, went through the hardest part of it. But the next thing you know, they had deposited it all in we already got it. They already drafted it into the housing authority account. So they've asked us to they're not asking for anything in particular right now, but they want us to keep track of anything that we spend the money on. What I am doing here with part of the money is, and it's something that I wanted to do anyway, the community room, I'm going to rip out the carpeting in there. It's old and it's dirty, and I'm thinking germs, and I had already planned on replacing the furniture in there. I replaced Heritage's a few years ago. Colonial's is over 10 years old. So I'm looking to put in the flooring the kind of flooring that looks sort of like hardwood, but it's, the plank.
Laminate, yep.
Yeah, which we have in the offices, which works out great, and I think a lot cleaner and germ-free. So I'm getting quotes to put that in. Also, like I said, going to replace the furniture so that when it opens up, it'll be clean and fresh. I'll look into the community room over at Heritage also to see what that might need to clean that up a little bit. So that was some of the thoughts for it. And then I had a little bit of a mention of, when the heating season starts, that maybe I should get, they're not super expensive, but an air purifier for the office, which they recommend a little bit for, less spreading of germs. Maybe the office, one for the community room, maybe, or the laundry room, whatever. So in order to kind of keep people safe. So, obviously you can use it for supplies and, hand sanitizer and all that kind of stuff. But, that's not going to add up to thousands of dollars. So just trying to think of some other things that might be beneficial and that they would still consider to be, use of funds that, is related to COVID, quote unquote. So those were my thoughts. If anybody else has any thoughts on, what they think might be a good, spending of some of the money. If anybody has heard of anything else, I'm happy to be open to any ideas. But like I said, they gave us the money and, sort of just said use it for COVID-related expenses. So I'm just going to do my best to do that because I never want to say no when they give us money for something.
I don't blame you.
I think the laminate's a fabulous idea for both. I think
Yeah.
that's a great idea. 'cause
Yeah, it's something I had thought about doing anyway, but
Yeah.
just haven't really wanted. So depending upon how much it's gonna cost, I'm gonna try to maybe put it all the way through. But I have to again be careful with procurement because if it goes over a certain amount, then I have to procure it and so I'm just gonna see what everything's gonna cost. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm sure I can use a good part of the money on some of the things like that.
Sounds worthwhile.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think I need a motion for,
You need a couple, you one for the change order, one for the substantial completion.
for that, and then for the budget revision.
Right. Let's start with the budget revision. We need to have a budget approval. The revision is in the amount of $42,407. So we need a motion.
So moved, Andy.
Andy Dowd. Second,
So moved, second.
Elaine. Any other questions? If not, I'll take a vote.
Aye, Ray Carlson.
Aye, Brad.
Aye, Elaine.
Aye, Andy Dowd.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, the other motion has to do with the change order that Lynn was just talking about. And that's in the amount of 6,000, Lynn?
Yeah, 6,000.
Okay. We're going to need a board vote to accept the change order, the increase of the original budget of 6,000. That's for the gutters.
That's for the gutters at Rutland Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need a motion for that.
So moved, Ray Carlson.
Thank you, Ray. I need a second.
Brad Newman.
Okay, Brad, thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'll take a vote to accept the change order.
Elaine, aye.
Blaine? Ray?
Aye.
Brad, aye.
Andy, aye.
Rita, aye. Motion carries unanimous. And the other one is the completion of the job. That's what Mike's Construction, am I correct?
That's right.
Okay. This is his final completion and we need to, in order for him to get paid, the board has to vote it. And that's in the amount of, so I'm having a hard time. Is it $7,235? I believe that's the certificate of final completion. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, the certificate of
Okay.
final is, 7235.
Right, okay. So we're going to need a motion to, for the completion, the final completion of the work that was done. So we need a motion for 7,235.
Elaine, so moved.
Wayne, I need a
Andy,
second.
Second,
Okay.
Andy.
Andy, any questions? If not, then I'll take a vote to accept to accept the final completion.
Brad,
Good.
Ray, aye.
Ray,
Elaine, aye.
Andy, aye.
Rita, aye. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Those are the three that I have that you needed. I don't think you needed any more than that, did you?
Yeah, I think that was it for tonight. Yep.
Right. it
Oh,
was the-
you know what? I did have one other thing. Did I send you, did I send you the kitchen for 96 Northgate? the low bid approval?
You did.
Okay. I just remembered that I had sent that.
Oh, I
So
did.
that-
I got it right here. Sorry.
So that project has been on hold. We're supposed to do the kitchen at 96 Northgate right before the COVID started and the pandemic started. So they put on hold all inside projects. So now they said that we can resume them if the tenants are agreeable. So I did talk to her. She was a little reluctant, but kind of did agree that if they just put plastic on the door, which they would, you know, and wear masks that are. So anyway, I'm gonna try to go ahead with it, but we
Okay.
never even got the low bid approval, so we're gonna have to
Yeah,
see
you need that.
where the contractor is at this point, but I'm hoping that it's, you know, I'd like to just get it over with, but obviously I can't force her if she doesn't want anybody in there right yet.
No, but you do have to accept the low bid.
Yes, so I want to get the low bid approval.
They have the correct number of people living down there in Northgate now, Lynn?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's her and her husband and however many children they have. 3, I believe, or 4. So,
All right, then I'll put
I
out
don't-
to it. Did you have anything else on that, Lynn? If not, I'm just gonna.
no, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, I don't know.
I have it.
Okay,
This is the low bid, and as everybody has a copy, they noticed that the low bid was, the print is very small here for me and my eyes aren't that good. JC&D Construction
Mhm.
in the amount of $20,000 is the lowest bid. The highest bid went up to $35,990. So that's a pretty good difference between that and the high bid. But we need to have a motion to accept this low bid.
Motion, Brad.
Thank you, Brad. I need a second.
Second, Elaine.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll put in for a vote to accept the low bid.
Brad, I.
Okay.
Ray, I.
Elaine, aye.
Andy, I.
Rita, aye. Unanimous, motion carries. So you have that, Lynn,
okay,
and
thank you.
that's been accepted.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so that does take care of it. I think I have.
Okay, that is everything. I knew there was one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Okay,
All right, and then we have the payment of the bills. I couldn't print mine out, but I did get the total off of the computer in the amount of $96,652.60. Everybody have a chance to look at the warrant?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any questions? If not, then I'll accept a motion to accept the bills for in the amount of $96,652.
So moved, Ray.
Okay, I need a second.
Second, Andy.
Second, Andy. Okay, I will, if there are no other questions, we will vote to accept it.
Elaine,
Aye.
aye.
Okay, Elaine,
Ray, I.
okay,
Brad, I.
Andy, I.
Rita, aye. Motion carries. Unanimous. Okay, that takes care of all that business.
okay.
Okay, and then, oh wow, this is a biggie. Don't everybody jump at one time. Now we'll do the annual election. We usually do a rotation, don't we, Lynn?
Yeah, a lot of times we do. So I
And
just,
who's the vice president? Brad?
let me
Yeah,
just.
but the rotation always seemed to stop right with you, Rita, so I'm not sure I want to tackle this like this,
I think you can.
but I'll feel free to anyone else to jump in.
I can look, see. Annual board meeting. So last year, yeah, it was in October. And yep, we had Rita chair, Brad vice chair, Andy treasurer, Ray secretary, and Elaine member.
I think that sounds great, as is.
Rita, you want to go, you want out, Rita?
Oh, why would I leave when I'm having such fun?
Well, speak up now.
No, I'll stay on for a while.
All right, here we go.
Then you need a
Motion-
motion to
motion-
accept them as they have been presented.
So moved, Elaine.
Okay, Elaine. Need a second?
Second, Andy.
Okay, with no other conversations, then I'll take a vote.
Ray,
All right,
aye.
Brad.
Brad, Ray, Elaine?
Elaine, aye.
Andy, aye.
And I will accept it.
So the slate of.
Vote is
voters
unanimous.
as is.
You have to deal with me a little bit longer, Lynn.
There we go. I guess we're all in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of
Okay,
these.
is there any other business to come before the board? Anything else we need to bring up? I just had a quick question. You touched on it very quickly, but on the, on Brad's garage, I was wondering
Brad's garage.
when it's built, if we could put Brad's garage on the top of it.
We could have a dedication.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be nice.
Okay. If I'm still around when it's built.
Yeah, you and me
All
both.
right,
I wouldn't
yeah.
worry about it. You
I
got
know.
ways to go.
It's coming. I promise you. I
Oh, yeah, yeah.
promise you, you're stuck with me till that garage is done.
It's gonna
Well,
be
listen-
outside, just one more year outside, Brad.
I know, but listen,
know?
Lynn, I can't doubt you now, Lynn, after the solar project, all right?
Yeah, even though my maintenance people don't want the garage, you know that, right?
Well, that's too bad. They won't.
They don't
be-
count.
They
Yeah.
moan about it all the time. I think that they got their jinxes on it, but
Yeah, well,
Why don't they want it, Lynn?
because they don't want to have to be, because they're gonna be in
Accounted.
limbo for a while it's being done, because they're gonna have
Oh.
to put their stuff in a trailer and that kind of
Right.
stuff. They're afraid it's, you know how it is, anything that comes.
Yeah, nobody likes
It's a
change.
change. They don't want to
Anybody that,
change.
anything that's gonna mess up your mojo, they have everything organized in there and they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully it'll be okay. It will be.
well, you
Right.
know, sometime we should do a walkthrough. We never did a walkthrough over there to look and see what it's like now and what it will be like later, just to get
That's
an
right. That's a good idea. We gotta do the before
Yeah.
and after. picture.
And I wouldn't tell them we're gonna do it either.
Yeah,
Well, no, I love surprises.
Right. We love surprises and changes, so. it's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, not,
It's a good idea, though.
yeah,
It
that
is.
is.
Really. All right, if we don't have any other business to come before the meeting, it's been really exciting with the storm and it's dark.
Oh, so the
early
next,
now.
the next meeting is gonna be the day after the election.
Oh, God.
How do we feel about
I know,
that?
that's gonna be tough on you, Andy.
I don't think we're gonna have an answer by then anyway.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky if we have it by 2022. so.
I know.
How
so-
do you feel about that, Andy? You're gonna be really out straight. We can push it up a week if you want.
No, it's fine because we're gonna be, it's for a variety of reasons, it's gonna continue past the 3rd, so it's
Yeah, I
not
think so.
not an
Me
issue.
too. Okay.
Okay, anything
Okay,
changed?
is anybody celebrating on the 3rd?
No, November 4th.
Oh,
Then it will be
Celebrating or
November.
praying, it depends.
So Lynn, we might as well just stay with the 4th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, next
Okay,
meeting,
and again, it'll be on the Zoom because we're gonna do it till the end of the year, so.
right, and then see
Okay.
what happens.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much and.
Thank you, Rita.
Be a mom.
Thank you, Rita.
right.
Stay
Thanks,
safe,
everybody.
stay safe.
you,
Thank you
Lynn.
all.
You too.
Thank
Thanks,
you all.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Brenda.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
I know.
Bye-bye.